Hello there! The giant robot birthing AT-AT is back, and it is menacing. Of course, you can kill it the usual way, such as with the QUASAR cannon, but I wondered how else can I kill this robotic four-legged beast. So I decided to test out over 20 different ways to kill a factory strider, including efficient ones, such as orbitals, then airstrikes, and even the less efficient ones, like a flamethrower.
Bruh.
I also included the chapters in the description. If you guys want to go straight to your favorite method, you can go ahead and do that. Now we have so much to cover, let's just get right to it. I'm going to first start with orbitals. During my testing, for my safety, I took out the Gatling turrets underneath its face first. To do that, I just used the Rupture primary weapon and a couple of shots took it out.
Wow, incredible!
The first on the list is pretty straightforward. It's the orbital rail cannon strike. It takes one orbital rail cannon strike to destroy the cannon turret on its back. And it takes two orbital rail cannon strike to the body to take down the strider itself. It's pretty nice, especially if you have a buddy that has a rail cannon strike as well. Next up is the orbital laser. The orbital laser also generally targets the biggest enemy that is around you, but unlike the rail cannon, it takes a while for it to deliver damage, and also has quite a long cooldown period. Anyhow, in my test, it takes two orbital lasers to take down a factory strider. Number 3 on my list is Orbital Precision Strike, and it's surprisingly very effective against the strider. It only takes 2 orbital precision strikes in my testing to take down a strider. So that means even the Helldivers that are in the lower levels can also take down a factory strider. Not to mention the cooldown period is quite quick, so that makes it pretty reliable. Next entry on this list is not as precise. It's the 120mm high explosive barrage. It took me about 2 barrages to take down a strider. I seen the strider take a couple of direct hits from the barrage and it looks like it's totally fine with it.
Try me, bitch.
Not to mention the barrage has quite a long cooldown, so I had to do something to wait. And to be honest, the second barrage only took 1 direct hit to take it down, so I guess if you're pretty lucky and your first barrage managed to hit most of its shot, probably could take it down in just 1 barrage. Also, I didn't try out the orbital 380mm AG barrage because I'm guessing it'll probably hit everything else except the strider, but I did try out the orbital gas strike. At first, the initial strike kinda looked like it damaged the strider. It damaged those things on its back and made it flinch a bit. But after 4 more strikes and the last one actually gassing me instead, I kinda rage quitted. On the bright side, I learned that the gas strike is pretty good against Devastators.
Hey, that's pretty good.
I also tried the orbital airburst, which is also very good against the Devastators. It takes them down by the dozen. But unfortunately for the strider, it just somewhat makes its butt smoke. And after 20 minutes of trying, I eventually gave up. Next up, we're going to start talking about airstrikes. Number 5, we have the classic 500 kg bomb. The first shot, it landed on its turret and it took out its turret. And the second shot, it landed underneath it and it took down the strider. So it only takes 2 500 kg bombs to take down a strider. The Eagle airstrike is actually not so bad against the factory strider. It only took me around 5 airstrikes to finally take down 1 strider. Now, even though it takes kind of forever for me alone to destroy it with airstrikes, if you and your buddy has Eagle airstrikes, you can take it down pretty quickly. The next one is a bit weird for me. It's the 110 rocket pod. On the first attempt, it only took me 2 airstrikes to take down a strider, which is weird. So I had to test it again just to make sure I didn't get lucky. But on my next attempt, it was different because it took me several rocket strikes to finally take it down. And when I finally did take it down, for whatever reason, it started twerking. I tried it a 3rd time, and this time it only took 2 airstrikes on the head to finally take it down. So I guess it's all about the positioning. I tried running the cluster bomb airstrike since I know a lot of you guys run this, and since it's more effective in damaging me instead of the strider, I kinda gave up. Next up we have the turrets. I started out by trying out the rocket sentry or the rocket turret. At first I thought the rocket sentry was malfunctioning because it was aiming down. I thought it was shooting at a Devastator. Turns out it was shooting at the Strider's elbow for whatever reason. What are you aiming at? Turns out after shooting rockets at its elbow for about a minute, it actually took it down. Number 9 on the list is the autocannon turret. Now, the autocannon turret actually does have trouble aiming. It doesn't immediately aim at the biggest target, which is the factory Strider. Instead, it targets the Devastators below. And once it does fire at the factory Strider, it doesn't seem to be as damaging as the rocket sentry. I actually had to call it in twice to finally take down the factory Strider. I also tried out the Tesla Tower hoping that it'll do something against the factory Strider, but it turns out it only mesmerizes it. Doesn't seem like it's doing any considerable damage to it. Anyhow. Number 10, we have the Patriot EXOSUIT, and as always, the delivery guy is drunk.
Bruh.
Once I got it, it only took about 4 rocket shots to the cannon turret to blow it up, and about 7 rocket shots to the face to finally take down the factory Strider. The next entries on this video are support weapons. Now, I heard that the factory Strider's weak spot is actually the factory door underneath it, but I'm not going to attack that. Instead, I'm going to be attacking its face. I'm going to start off with the EAT, the expendable anti-tank. It takes 2 shots of the EAT to take down the laser cannon turret. As for the Strider itself, it took me about 6 EAT shots to the face to finally get the Strider to roll over and die.
Man, I'm dead.
Number 12 on the list is the QUASAR cannon. It also takes 2 shots to the cannon turret to blow it up. To take down the Strider, for me, it took about 7 shots to the face to finally take it down. I don't know, I probably missed a shot or something. 2 shots with the recoilless rifle also takes down the laser cannon turret. And even though the reload takes quite a long time, for me it only took 4 shots to the face to take down the factory Strider with the recoilless rifle. Number 14 on the list, we have the beloved spear. Now, this weapon is very recommended for those of you that enjoys an extra challenge because the lock-on is very challenging.
Target acquired.
Spike!
Target acquired.
Spike!
Anyhow, if it lets you, you can target the laser cannon and it takes 1 missile to take it down. However, it takes about 8 missiles for me to take down the Strider. Now, not all of the missiles landed on its face because you don't really get to choose where the missile lands. Next up, number 15 is the railgun. Now, if fired in safe mode, the bullet will ricochet into space.
Bye-bye.
Now, if fired in unsafe mode, it only took me around a total of 28 shots to the face to finally take it down. So yeah, I wouldn't say I'd recommend this. Number 16, we have the arc thrower. A couple of times I've seen some guys run the arc thrower when fighting against bots, and the arc thrower turns out to be pretty good against the factory Strider. I was getting ready to camp here all day and throw arcs all day, while in reality it only took me a minute to take down the factory Strider with an arc thrower. Number 17 is dedicated to all the laser cannon users out there. The laser cannon can easily take out the deadliest part of the factory Strider, which is the Gatling. And since the laser cannon has crazy range, feel free to snipe it. Unfortunately, the laser cannon doesn't have enough armor penetration to take out the turret on the Strider. However, messing around with the laser cannon kind of made me realize there's more than one vulnerable spot on the Strider. One exposed spot is the joint. If damaged enough, it can't take down the Strider. Another vulnerable area is that opening on its face in between the 2 plates. Anyhow, it took me around 6 ice reloads, sniping it from afar, aiming for that opening in between the plates on its face to finally take it down. The autocannon can also easily take down the Gatling turret, however, I can't seem to use it to destroy the cannon turret. Also, if you shoot the metal plates and not the weak spot, it'll ricochet. But here's the crazy part, if you manage to land all of your shots on that opening in between the plates on its face, it only takes 1 clip to take it down. Number 19, we have the anti-material rifle. Now, it doesn't have enough armor penetration to go through the plate, but it can also damage the weak spots. In my case, it only took 12 magazines to the face to take down the factory strider. Yippee! What the hell? Number 20 on my list is my personal favorite, the flamethrower. It took me a long time flaming it from various different angles and a lot of canisters. To be precise, it took me about 20 canisters. At one point, it kind of looks like it's enjoying it.
Harder, daddy. What?
But after like 9 minutes later, it finally died. Alright, so that was 20, but here's a couple more bonuses. In my last video, I told you that the eruptor is broken, and let me show you how broken it is. It took me about 5 mags shooting at that exposed spot on the shoulder joint to take it down. And that is insane. Thermite grenade also works against a factory strider. I wouldn't say it works well, but it works. It took me like about 18 throws on a face to finally kill it. Last but not least, this is probably the quickest way to kill a factory strider. You know those hell bombs you find in the map? One of those will blow the factory strider straight to robot heaven. If there is one. Alright, so there you have it, guys. 20 plus ways to kill a factory strider. Did I miss anything? If I did, let me know in the comments. And I hope you find this video helpful and entertaining. If you do, please leave a like and consider subscribing. And that's all from me, guys. I'll see you next time.